on some pharmaceuticals that are being detected in drinking water. They're detecting it now in parts per trillion. There's some speculation whether or not if there's actually more in the drinking water supply now, or is it just the fact that we're able to detect a lot lower level than we have ever in the past. They've picked up a lot of different things that are common in food items like soybeans and vegetables and coffees, or that naturally contain some of the phytoestrogens. One of the things that we've been doing here locally is we partnered with USGS to do some pharmaceutical testing of our own to the Raritan River. We're in a unique position where we have two very different treatment plants on the same raw water supply. So what we've been doing is monitoring the raw water, see what's in it, and then we can compare and contrast which treatment method is actually removing the pharmaceuticals better. So that's still, we've done some in the last 2 years, and we're continuing with that this year now, so should give us some interesting results. This is part of the EPA study. The EPA does not require utilities to monitor and treat for pharmaceuticals, but our treatment process we found is removing a lot of those pharmaceuticals that we're finding in the raw water. And we're beginning to develop some of the protocols for identifying and treatment of some of the pharmaceuticals that we're finding. The actual levels that we're finding in drinking water, the EPA's research shows that trace levels, parts per trillion of pharmaceuticals are being found in drinking water. Putting that in context, it means that a person would have to drink about 500 million liters or about 100 million gallons of water to ingest a dose that's equal to an extra strength Tylenol. And just a little further, put that in perspective, the Niagara Falls is puts out about 100 million gallons per minute. So you have to drink about a minute's worth of the falls to get a Tylenol dose. So just putting things in perspective. What are we doing in response to our findings? We've been conducting research since the late 90s. Participated in 4 research studies linked to the presence. Results did find extremely low parts per trillion. We strongly support the legislation to propose the proper disposal of drugs, similar to hazardous chemical recycling centers. And American Water is very concerned about the environment and continues to conduct research. As I said, it's ongoing. We just installed the automatic monitors or automatic pump stations this week for the next trial. So,
do you have any wells near Superfund site?
Not locally here. I guess the wells, yeah.
Or something where you draw water that is near any ongoing Superfund site?
No.
I don't think so. People.
No.
No, like within
the old calculus.
Pour water, like 1 mile, 2 mile, 10 miles is doing nothing because you're drawing so much water every day. So let's say if you're site in Boundbrook, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Boundbrook.
The old American cyanide plant.
Right, yeah.
We had all sorts of interesting color cellars for it.
Yeah.
That's our next.
That is actually next to our surface water treatment plant. So, but we're on the upstream side. So.
Well, we get the water from the river, not from the wells.
Wells, right.
Kevin, what is the health department's position on disposing of unused pharmaceuticals? You throw it out, it goes in the landfill, goes into the groundwater. If you flush it, it goes into the treatment plant. So you can't take it back to the pharmacists, they won't take it back. So what is the official?
The current recommendation is to mix it in with coffee grounds or kitty litter or something that makes it unappetizing and throw it away in the trash.
So it'll go to the groundwater that way.
One of the problems they have in England is that a lot of the pharmaceuticals that were identified, especially the SSRIs, were products of excretion.
Were products of what?
Excretion. You know, it was after people had taken them and they excreted the byproducts.
So it's coming from the water treatment plants,
Well,
or
yeah.
it's sewer, septic.
Yeah, for septic systems.
Yeah, the studies we've shown that the present treatment plants do a very good job at removing the pharmaceuticals that we're finding in the raw water. And interestingly, the
Which treatment plants are you talking about? Sewage treatment plants?
no,
or
our
treatment plants?
water treatment plants.
Okay.
Interestingly, the treatment plant that uses ozone for a pre-disinfectant does a much better job than the chlorine plant. But the chlorine plant also removes, I think it was 75% of the ones that were present. Yeah.
I have two questions. First, there is an ongoing battle in my family between me and the rest of the family, although I'm getting one ally now, about bottled water, which my wife buys in cases by cases by cases. Do you test any bottled water?
We do not test bottled water. No, that's
Not even for fun, for comparison?
No, well,
You
we've
know.
got enough of our own samples that we have to test. But no, I guess our official stand on that is that it's funny. It's the same product. It's water, but they're regulated totally differently. We're regulated by the DEP locally and the EPA. We have a set of parameters that we have to test for at a certain frequency. Now, the bottled water industry, they're regulated by the FDA as a food product. It was only recently, within the last 5 or 10 years, that said that they had to test for the same parameters that we do, but they don't have to test as frequently as we do. The DEP locally, New Jersey, has standards that are much more stringent than the federal ones, so they don't have to meet the DEP standards. So, and just the fact that they're not testing as frequently, it may be as good a quality, it might not be. You can't tell. But the big thing for me, though, is the end use. Once that bottle's gone, it's I forget what the estimate is, that a majority of the plastics that are disposed of aren't recycled. So they end up in the river streams, landfills, and are just. I wish I had
You're
the.
preaching to the choir here.
Yeah.
Actually, I was going to mention that if you hadn't used that argument, Greg, about the waste, but there are
Used every
actually
argument conceivable.
there are actually towns now. I just read this just very recently that are writing local ordinances against the sale of bottled water for that very reason.
Wow.
California.
California.
Yeah, I heard that too.
California,
Yeah.
San
California's
Francisco.
San Francisco's banning it.
Yeah.
I'd even
no plastic
use the
bottle.
environmental issue about the
Grocery
cost of
bag.
gas
Yeah.
to ship it.
Right.
Didn't work.